Lucas Oil Pro Motocross will take a week off, and then we're back at High Point, just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Check us out live on June 18th on NBC and NBCSN. Wrapping it up in the 250 division and also wrapping up a professional career this year will be the number 29 of Andrew Short. He'll be racing his home race here for the last time. One of the friendliest riders you'll ever meet.
I feel really blessed to have such a long...
And we'll have a chance to catch up with this guy and it's as he decides to part with his professional racing career.
I feel really blessed to have such a long, sustainable career. For one, I think I've been very fortunate to be healthy and relatively injury-free for most of my career. It seems like towards the end here it's kind of tapered off and I've hit the deck more than usual, but it's always been a dream of mine since I've been a kid to race professional motocross and to actually make it or achieve that goal by getting to ride and competing year after year has been a huge dream of mine. So I feel like I've appreciated it, but at the same time that love and passion is what's created such a long career for myself, I think. No racer ever wants to stop racing, you know, and most people don't get to choose, you know, when they're done. They're either forced by they can't get a ride or injuries. I don't know what's next. I would love to stay in touch with this paddock. There's so many friends that I've created, you know, in this little mini circus that goes from track to track, week in, week out. Right now, I'm just trying to stay in the moment, enjoy every race. Colorado's probably my most favorite race throughout the season. I love racing, but I hope to have some more free time to go adventure riding, dual sport. I love to ride in the mountains, especially here in Colorado. If I could be around good people, checking out some new scenery, riding in mountains, desert, wherever it may be. I just hope I'm on two wheels, smiling and having a good time. No racer ever wants to stop, but it's time for me, and I'm not as competitive as I once was, and I have some other goals, and I hope that whatever's next in my life, whatever that chapter may be, that I can wake up and have a similar passion and use that energy that I have to be successful racing, and you know, whatever comes next.
And we wish the 33-year-old well. Main goal for him, wants to spend more time with his two kids at home. That's certainly something to applaud. Thanks, Andrew. And the folks in the motocross and supercross community bid a sad farewell to Steve Hudson, who's our chaplain, been coming to the races since 1996, but 20 years in, he has decided to step aside and put his final chapel service at a motocross race together this morning. He has given more support for this industry than any of you folks could possibly imagine. We wish you well, Steve, and I'm sure we'll still see you around every once in a while. We had the first moto complete in the 450 class earlier today. Ken Roxon continues his role. He's won all but one moto this year, and the one moto he didn't win was because he had bike problems. He has been incredibly fast, but not too shabby in his own right is Josh Grant. He's with Georgia Lindsay at the GoPro starting gate.
Josh Grant on the Monster Energy Kawasaki. Huge congratulations this season, you know, being on the new bike and everything. You got 8-8 at the first round, 6-6 at the second round. You got 4th in the first moto. Are we looking for another 4th? I mean, you were really battling there with Trey Canard for that 3rd place.
Yeah, I mean, it all sounds good, you know, but at the same time, it's focusing on a race. And I'm just out having fun, you know, looking forward to this moto. And yeah, I really like Colorado. I've had some good races here. So just looking to try to hopefully land on the box would be nice.
Well, best of luck. Thanks, Josh.
All right, our 450 class is ready to go. Can anyone catch Ken Roxon? What about the home track guy, Eli Tomac? Back here, 3 minutes away from our second moto in the 450 class of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Here's Kawasaki track map. Going to show you the back half of the facility.
Yeah, we pick it up the back half. That's a new chicane they put in there off that long left sweeper. Come to this top part, drop back down this corner. A lot of ruts, a lot of lines. Step back up past the pit lane area. This is a triple step up over the Lucas Oil jump. Make a left. This section also off-cambered, kind of tricky. Pick your line here, get your weight back through these rollers. There's a little bit of a braking jump. Make a right over the finish line. Hopefully, if it's the last lap, you take the checkered flag. Round the back of the start gate. That's a lap here.
This guy has been turning in the best laps so far this year. We mentioned Ken Roxon already won the first moto today about an hour ago. He has been the fastest guy so far in 2016, and we'll give you an idea of where and how he's making up that time with our Lit Pro Race Insight.
Well, it seems pretty logical, but look at the line selection. Dungey going a little more wider, Roxon going up the inside, but look at that. He covered 16 feet less just in one corner was Roxon. Once again, another section of the track off that long downhill. Then you go into this turn. Look at Roczen, tidal lines. And then on paper, the tidal line is the rougher line, but he's going through at about the same speed, but just basically using less track by going tighter. Another part of the track. Look at this. I mean, it almost looks like Roczen's cheating from the aerial, but it's just tucking under the tree and inside. Dungey going to the outside. The lines join up later on. Once again, another 8.5 feet. So just Roczen proving that he's able to go and hit the rough stuff, but still do it at the same speed. And then again, 0.7 he gained there.
One section, 0.7 seconds. That's an eternity on a motocross track.
That's usually more than the gap between their whole, you know, lap time.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, want to give a shout out to Blake Baggett, not here today, injured, but he did collect a Deltram battery tender Ricky Carmichael Hard Charger Award from last week at Glen Helen. He went down on the first lap of Moto 1 and came from 40th to 16th, and he did it while riding with a broken collarbone. Get well soon, Blake. We'll see you at High Point.
That makes it even more special. All right, the gate's about to drop. Let's get to our KTM keys to the Moto. It's late in the day. We're up at altitude. Tomac needs a better start. We said, is this his time to shine? But he needs a start. And of course, control your breathing. We saw Jason Anderson leave the first moto, not line up for the second moto because of the altitude and the long ruts. We've seen what they can do to riders over the years, and it's usually happened in the second moto as well. So, a lot to expect. Track's rough, temperatures up. End of the day, it all comes down to this. Get a good start, focus. Once you're out front, it makes life a lot easier. Car to sideways.
Honda's up front in this one. Trey Kennard and Cole Seeley, and Kennard's going to edge everybody out.
How about Andrew Short?
Yeah!
Our local hero gets a great start. This is what Shorty needed. It's his last time at his home racetrack. Oh, his forks are stuck. Oh, there we go.
Woo!
It released.
Got
Yeah, he went up that thing. He'll even explain the bit of Laguna Air there, which was the forks were still stuck in. Released. Kennard with the whole shot. Where are our guys from Moto 1? Where is Roczen? There's Dungey.
Dungey, good start, but yeah, we do not see Roczen, we do not see Tomac. Meanwhile, Trey Kennard, 2 years of terrible starts, and he has finally shaken those demons. It's the third race in a row where he has battled for a whole shot. So he's finally got it figured out. His teammate Cole Seeley on the 14, dealing with Ryan Dungey. Dungey around the outside, switches to the inside of the number 1.
Yeah, Dungey tries to get to the inside line, but Seeley doing the smart thing, protects it. Right behind them, Josh Grant, another solid start in 4th position, which Georgia just said, hey, maybe another 4th. I guarantee you he'd be happy with a 4th, because depending on the outcome, might even put him on the box for the overall. Look at that, Dungey up the inside of Seeley. Seeley cased that triple step up on the opening lap. Now Dungey going, okay, this is my opportunity. No Roczen near the front. I got to make hay while the sun shines. I expect Dungey to try and push for the lead and try and make a break for it.
Well, he's got to. We're going to follow. You got Grant and Barsha on the 51, and here comes Roczen. So Roczen not too far back, but a little bit further. I mean, he's had the lead in the first lap for almost every race. Not even necessarily because of the start. He has passed people on lap 1 in bunches, but not able to do it. Oh, and that is Dungey down!
Dungey is down on the first lap, and we do not see that very often,
No.
Ryan Dungey. But even in practice, it looked like he was trying to ride hard. Gives it a little swapperoo there, pushes the clutch lever up. So Ryan Dungey out of the overall contention. It's now about how many points is he going to lose to the number 94, Ken Roczen, who already has a point lead coming into today's event.
Battling it out with Tomita, the Japanese rider on the 718. This is for 20th place right now. So Dungey, who we thought, oh, this is opportunity to go for the win, now is just barely into the points. Gets around Austin Howell next, so that should be 19th.
And you know what's still sad is he's still better off than Eli Tomac was at the end of lap 1 in the first moto.
And Tomac is right in front of him despite the crash. So Tomac's start, not really any better in Moto 2 than it was in number 1. Georgia, what are you hearing on Tomac?
Yes, I was just at the corner right before the finish line, heading to the Fran Mechanics area, and Eli Tomac actually came off the track. He went around the outside and just passed his way up through onto the finish line in a jumble of people. And the same time, right before that, Justin Bogle got completely squarely sideways, managed to save it, and hit the finish line at such speed.
As they say, it's like a jailbreak back there on lap 1. If you don't have a good start, People are going every which direction, just trying to find running room. Barsha putting the heat on Grant right now. Battle for third with Roxon right behind them. Grant, Monster Energy Kawasaki, number 33, the green bike. 51 of Barsha, that's an Auto Trader Monster Yamaha. And speaking of monsters, here comes Ken Roxon. He's been eating these guys up early in the races.
Yeah, his intensity in the opening laps is just incredible. His pace, his line selection. I mean, he's just dissecting his field in all these motos early, making passes like at will. Look at that. Just, hey, you know what? You got the inside? Cool, I'll go around the outside.
Yep. Soaring Eagle, Jimmy John Suzuki for Roxon. Not sure what happened to Dungey, but we were saying how this is Dungey's chance to attack and go. Do you think that might have been it? Was he rushing things, or you also mentioned in practice he looked rough at times too?
It was right here. I think he was pushing, and I don't know what happened because it was a weird looking. Whoa, a little close there for comfort. Josh Grant almost saying hello to the camera, using every inch of the track, but. Obviously, we don't know what happened. Maybe Dungey did try and push it, and sometimes it's literally just, you go, okay, I'm going for it, and one little thing can happen, and it ends up really transformating how the race comes out. But look at this, 2 Honda riders going for it. Seeley staying out of the deep ruts. He's up the inside of Canard. Can he make it happen? No!
Whoa! Don't take each other out, boys. Your teammates. Wow, great racing.
There was touched again coming out of that corner. Now Seeley's on the outside, but Canard's just going to run him a little bit wide. Just keep it cool, calm, and collected.
Oh, Honda people got to be excited about this to have their guys 1-2. Just like I said, don't knock each other down. And honestly, the other problem is you can slow each other up a little bit when you have these types of battles. Canard trying to regain control of this. Grant, Roxon, and Barsha behind them. Canard has regained control. Maybe he got surprised there.
Possibly. He probably looked over going, wait, Cole Seeley? You're not supposed to be passing me, bro. Like, you're a Supercross specialist. And you had mentioned earlier from the first motor how Seeley has really wanted to try and push to get better. Look at these guys. I mean, they're almost clipping and basically breaking their little finger on that plastic that basically defines the edge of the track. Oh, Seeley. That actually reminded me just of number 3 last year on the same color bike. So we won't go down that road, but it did the same thing. You know why? Is the track is off canvas, so it goes from right to left, sloping away. So when you're leaning and the bike starts moving, those things start happening. It's when you
and a mistake from Canard.
Canard was almost completely off the track, saves it.
Oh, and Seeley is right there. And as these two exchange mistakes and pass attempts, look who's caught them. Ken Roxon, your first moto winner, your series points leader, a 3-way battle for the lead here in Colorado.
Yeah, Roxon just coming in a hurry.
I think Roxon's seen enough of this. He's going to try to get around both of them. Seeley has got the pass made on Canard. So Cole Seeley going for it. Makes it stick. Oh, right there on her camera.
Is gone.
I think that might be the last of that shot. Cole Seeley into the lead. Great riding for him. His first moto didn't have a good start. Came all the way through the traffic. Rode well.
And now look at Roxon. He's not messing around either.
Roxon's going to try an outside line right here on Canard. Does he have room? No. So the Honda boys are 1-2, but for how long can they hold Ken Roxon back? Wait, Canard's going to try to put another attack on Seeley.
Oh, this is great racing up front here. Got to admit, didn't expect to see the number 14 up front, but hats off, Cole Seeley. You are running a fantastic race. Oh!
Canard not taking an inch.
Well, you know, Roxon put it in there, and Canard squared it up and said, not quite yet. Look at this, still side by side.
Trey's a fighter, no doubt about it, but finally has to relinquish that second place spot. Did everything he could to hold Roxon off. So now Roxon only has one rider left to try to take the lead. Cole Seeley, who, again, rode very well in Moto 1. The result won't show it because he had to come through traffic and get 6th, but he's going to try to put up a fight here on Roxon.
Jeez, look at that corner speed from Roxon. Wow. Look at that, carries up the hill. Side by side, but he's going to have the inside. Ken Roxon will be your new leader. This kid can do some things that makes you just go, wow. And that was one of those moments.
I thought Seeley would put up a fight. He was planning on it.
He was trying. He did not.
When a guy goes around a corner like that, there's not much you can do. So Roxon with the lead and now pulling away quickly. He is just on another level than everyone else in this class right now. Speaking of Cole Seeley, we got our GoPro camera footage from him from Moto 1.
He has Moto 1. You see, he doesn't quite get the start. And look at this. This is just not fun when you're back here. But he's on the inside. Let's just listen.
That was Moto 1 an hour ago. What a difference a start makes. This time he was right up there, up front with his teammate, and even got to lead a little bit. But he, like everyone else, is now trying to figure out a way to solve Ken Roczen. DSN, don't miss a moment. Cool to be right there in the mix with the Stanley Cup finals here, watching Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Ken Roczen, the young German who won this title in 2014. Last year, pretty much anything that could go wrong did go wrong. Handed the championship over to Ryan Dungey. He is clearly motivated to get it back this year. He has aced the field in every race this year, except last week when he had a problem with the motorcycle. But he has been the fastest rider, no doubt about it, early in 2016.
Well, Roczen has been flawless. I mean, like I said, one little minor issue from another same thing, minor little part that became a big problem, which they've taken off the bike. So this week, yeah, Roczen just taken off what we've seen the first 4 motos this season. If he gets the whole shot, adios, see you later, bud. Even if he doesn't, just so aggressive and intense on those first few laps, he'll cut through the front pack like a knife through butter, and then get a little gap, and then just pretty much maintain it. So he looks like he could do this, I mean, almost on a weekly basis. So I've got to imagine for Dungey and Roczen, there's a little bit of concern. Sorry, Dungey and Tomac, there's got to be a little concern about Roczen and his dominance right now.
Yeah, and every race this year we've talked about, you said, maintaining that gap when he has the lead. He's only up 3.2 seconds on Cole Seeley. That's not a big gap at all. But he has really been masterful this year at just getting it where he wants it and not riding any harder, not taking any more chances than he has to. He's been completely in control of the motos, much more so than the actual stopwatch would tell you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he has to step it up, he would. But look at him. He's just basically going around the rough stuff, but he's just doing it very casual. It's not faster, it's just smoother and more consistent. And he's got the speed that he's just taking the easy route, which is also smart, let's be honest.
Been a nice rebuild for Kenny, who it was controversial, this switch to Suzuki. Has had much success with KTM. Hey, George is in the Fram Mechanics area as he goes by.
Yes, Ken Roczen's mechanic, Oscar Wiedemann, was just giving him a big shout over the Fram Mechanic area pinch. But at the speed that Ken Roczen is going, you're with him during the week, you work on his bike. What is it that makes Ken Roczen so much faster?
He's got amazing talent, and he works hard for it too.
That's it. I guess that's the keys. Talent, and he works hard. Thanks, Oscar.
All right, Oscar. Hard to argue with that. It's a good combination. And they're leading again here in Colorado. And Kawasaki going to get their poster shoot in right here as they got both their riders in the same picture. Josh Grant leading Eli Tomac. It is a battle for 3rd and 4th, and a great one. They have both gotten around Trey Kennard, who had the 3rd place spot.
Yeah, Josh Grant looking good right now. Had a look over his shoulder. He saw it was Eli Tomac. Thought he might have made it easier, but absolutely not. And Tomac gets through. He buys himself some insurance. Speaking of insurance, Jason, what do you got for us?
Hey, we're 15 minutes into the moto, 15 minutes to go. In 15 minutes, you can save 15% or more on your insurance. So this is going to move Tomac potentially in contention for an overall podium today. He's got a little more work to do. Cole Seeley is about 4 seconds up ahead in 2nd place. Tomac going to make a run for it. You hear the fans here in Colorado, they're happy about this. Yes, they wanted to see Eli Tomac win today, but he's certainly putting on a show through the field.
And he's starting to look like that second half of the second moto, Eli Tomac. But last year we saw this, the whole moto, both motos.
Right.
So we're starting to see a little bit of that. We said last week, there's some glimpses. We thought he'd potentially win today. I picked him to win. He has the speed, he has everything. Just his starts are just horrendous.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he could do. Maybe he could battle with Roczen if he was up there with him early. What do you have on the number 3, Georgia?
I just asked his mechanic, what did Eli Tomac eat between races? He said he was just mad. And like he said previously in the morning, he said, I want redemption from last year, from the injury, from everything. And you can definitely show there is a fire in his soul right now, ready to go and take these people to, potentially just get a race win. He'd have to really get up to Ken Roczen, but I think he'd be happy if he just had a podium. But his bike is pretty much the same. He lives in Durango, Colorado. He's used to his bike at altitude, so not many changes were made. So right now he's a happy camper, but a mad one at the same time.
Yeah, thanks, Georgie. He does have the fastest lap of the moto by about 2/10 over Roczen, although we don't know if we're seeing the full speed that Roczen could go since he's out front. Trey Kennard has rebounded, coming back at Grant.
Yeah, he's having a little, maybe he had to take a breather and get his breathing under control. Because now he looks like, I got a second wind and up the inside. Takes the line away, gets it from Grant, and that changes the overall points because for a second, Dungey, Seeley, Kennard, Tomac, Grant were all 5 guys separated by 1 point.
What? That's incredible. So Dungey, who has climbed up to 6th place in the Moto, could be on the podium overall today. Kyle Chisholm of the Rocky Mountain ATV MC Honda team in the pits. Tough break for the very likable, well-respected privateer. He's working his way back from some injuries this year. You can hear the crowd cheering Eli Tomac everywhere he goes as he tries to get Seeley now. And right behind them comes Kennard. You see on your screen right here on the 41.
I think the crowd were cheering because Seeley did get by, Tomac got by Seeley. That was what we heard in the background. Tomac showing us this, what we've seen before, and it's just weird that he can only seem to kind of put it together right later in the day. It's almost like now he's figuring out his lines, the way the bike feels, where he's comfortable. Yeah, just something not quite clicking there because he's got a lot of the ingredients, just something's missing.
Yeah, and again, fastest in practice today. So there's a whole bunch of pieces, just doesn't have all of them figured out yet. 12 seconds, by the way,
There's that one piece of the puzzle that's under your chair, under the table you can't find to finish this thing complete.
Reminds me of playing with my kids at home. Yeah, it's always problems. One thing can ruin it all. For him, it might just be the start. Cole Seeley still a strong ride in 3rd right now as Ken Roczen continues to rule Colorado. We have a Ryan Dungey sighting here on NBCSN Colorado. Your defending series champ crashed early in this race, has battled and battled and battled, and just took 5th place away from Josh Grant. So Dungey on the number 1. Does have Trey Kennard on the 41 in his sights now. If he can get Kennard a 2 and a 4 with his finishes today, could still put him on the overall podium. Going to be very close.
Well, right now, Roczen's got the overall with a 1-1. That's simple. But Kennard, Dungey, and Tomac, right now, as they stand, are all tied on 38 points. So a 3-way tie for 2nd, which means somebody doesn't make the podium. You tied for 2nd, but you didn't make the podium.
Yes, that's how.
So if
how close it is.
This is simple. If Dungey passes Kennard, then Dungey will be 2nd, Tomac will be 3rd, and just for people that aren't too familiar with how outdoor motocross works, it's the 2nd moto finish that gives you the overall. So if you went 2nd and 1st, and another guy went 1st and 2nd, the winner of the 2nd moto would get the buffer.
The tiebreaker, yeah.
Yep.
So, again, I don't think Dungey's calculating anything like that. He's just thinking, I need to pass as many riders as I can and get as many points for the championship as I can. Because Roczen has gotten away. Dungey maybe could have taken the fight to him in this one. He had a good start where Roczen was a little bit further back, but he crashed in the 1st lap. And what a comeback charge from about 21st to 5th at the moment. Could it be 4th by the time it's done?
I think will be 4th the way it's going, and he may or may not have enough time to catch Cole Seeley. Seeley's ran a very great race so far, comfortably in 3rd. So first Dungey has to deal with Kennard, which we know is going to be tough. Look at the top of the screen, running order, also the event points at the bottom. Roczen, 25 and 25 for a 1-1. But look at that. 12, minus 12 for Tomac, Kennard, minus 12 Dungey. 3-way tie for 2nd, so it shows you how close it is. So any position right now, like we said, Dungey would end up 2nd and bump Kennard off the podium.
So this is a very,
racing.
Yeah, a very critical pass. But as we saw in our 250 class in the last hour with Joey Savacci up front, just because you catch someone doesn't necessarily mean you can pass them. Dungey has certainly caught Kennard as they both get around a lap rider. That's Dylan Schmoke they're getting around there. And they hook it back up. They smoked him up there, okay. But they're about to hook it up. These two, pretty friendly with each other off the track, and they spent a lot of years battling. They're about the same age, so they raced together in the amateurs and on mini cycles. 250 class, they battled on 450s, and here they are again with a podium, overall top 3 for the day on the line.
Oh, that was Rookstall that just got by. He just off the side of the track did not want to be a part of this battle. And we said it before with lappers, there's one thing that bugs me is lappers interfering in a great battle. So a lot of these lappers very good about just going, hey, I'm not battling for position or points. These guys are battling. I'll get out of the way. 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go in this moto. Approximately 4 more laps when they end this lap. So time definitely starting to run out.
Marvin Muscan is the rider behind them. Have not seen much of him at all today. Crashed out of the first moto. Bad start in this one as Dungey now goes after Canard. He'll be on the inside of the next corner if he can stay with him. Didn't even need to get there.
Got the drive out of the corner. You saw Canard got held up in that deep hole coming out of there. That's a tight section where now those outside lines, they're so much further in length to get there, but you can carry so much more momentum and not get held up. And you just said about Muscan, he is right there. Look, when you see in the top of your screen, you'll see a orange KTM coming into the shot. So Muscan on the gas right now.
Yeah, great ride for him. He might battle with Canard before this one is over.
There
on
he
the Red
is.
Bull KTM. And he has passed Grant and Barcia to get to this 6th place spot. So well done for the Frenchman. Nice rebound from the crash out of Moto 1.
I was just about to say, after that crash, he needs every single point he can get, as well as just a ride that can show what Marvin can do. We know that Marvin is capable of winning a moto or an overall, at least a podium guy. So right now, showing us why we hype him up like we do. And now Josh Grant starting to, just drop off a little bit of pace here late in the second moto. And you got old Bam Bam Barcia coming. He's fired up right now. This is what he loves. He loves to battle Barcia.
Yes, he's trying to go for this 7th place spot. Barcia still waiting for the fire to light under Barcia. We certainly know what he's capable of as far as winning races as he did last year. This is pretty good right now, but still it's only a battle for 7th. You know he'd like to be further up front than that, and he'd also like to be on the track. Nice flat track in there, though.
They say if you go off the track, you don't gain an advantage. And how they govern that is just roll off the throttle so we know you're not pinned. I don't know if Barcia could pull that one off, but he did not gain an advantage.
No.
But he just showed us what flat track looks like in Lakewood, Colorado, around the outside of our motocross track.
There was no attempt to roll off the throttle, that's for sure. But yes, he did lose a little ground, has to reset himself, go back after Grant. Grant, the veteran out of California. Barcia originally from upstate New York. Now, like most of these riders, has property right around the Florida and Georgia state line, although also has a house in North Carolina where his Joe Gibbs Racing motocross team works out of.
See Grant's legs get ripped off the pegs there. These ruts, that section, I wish we, if you could physically see it yourself, it's up to your kneecaps.
Yeah, you folks would not believe how deep those ruts are. The cameras don't do it justice.
It's not more.
These two have pulled pretty far away from everyone else. It should be a couple of Suzuki riders. Yes, Brock Tickle, who's the Soaring Eagle Jimmy John Suzuki teammate of your leader Ken Roczen, in 9th. And pretty much in a lonesome 9th place. And kudos to Matt Bisceglia, who is in a one-race deal with Yoshimura Suzuki. Yeah, another top 10. He would come through next. Was 10th in Moto 1. So good job by Bisceglia, young rider from Texas. Back to this battle, Barcia versus Grant. And some lap riders that they're going to be versus as well. Through the Fram Mechanics area, another lap about to click off.
Well, with the leaders, getting this lap before time expired, basically 3 laps left to go. Ryan Dungey has got his head down now because he is going after Cole Seeley. Last lap around, he gained 2.8 seconds on Seeley. He's only less than 3 seconds behind. Well, there's 3 laps to go, so Dungey with an opportunity to gain a few more points, as well as put on the box in the moto.
You would have almost never known that he had a problem if he can get all the way to 3rd. He definitely has time to catch Seeley at this pace, but he'll also have to figure out a way to pass him. This could be very close down the stretch. Watching Dungey on the Red Bull KTM. See Seeley on the red bike just ahead.
Well, and
Seeley just looked over,
he knows. Well, if you look at the top of the clock now, you see time has expired. It says 3 laps to go. Well, next time around, we get 2 laps to go. So about 2.5 laps. This is going to be interesting. Seeley knows Dungey's coming. Dungey is putting the hammer down. Man, look at that gap, though. Roczen just checked out. Tomac, the only one to be able to stay relatively anywhere near him, about 10 seconds off. this battle right here, another half a minute behind.
Muskin now all over Kennard to try to take away 5th. And remember, did not finish the first moto.
Oh, look at that line.
And the gate picks in the second moto are based on the first moto finish. So that's why he didn't get the good start, but he sure is riding well.
Yeah, Marvin just trying to stay out of the real deep stuff, and he's almost alongside. He's got that and makes it happen. We've seen it before, but now he leaves the door open. Can Kennard run it back in? He tries to. Not quite. So nice rebound ride from Marvin Muskin. Look at the biggest movers. 31 positions. I mean, almost double anyone else.
You know, I've seen this happen before, where the guy gets the bad start and rides the race of his life, and then they get a whole shot, and it doesn't go so well. We've seen that happen to Kennard a few times. What happens there? Just get that nothing to lose, just go for it?
Well, I know a lot of people in this country can relate to football. It's like the team that gets out a 28-0 lead at the end of the first quarter, and then they change their game plan and become very defensive. And the other team says, hey, we got nothing to lose, so we're going to Hail Mary everything. And guess what? All of a sudden you go, wait, it's 28-28.
Yeah.
And that's what happens in motocross. It's very similar. It's so easy to just tighten up and lose what made you so good earlier on.
Yeah, Marvin is just flowing right now, getting around Kennard. And Kennard, on the other hand, had a great first moto from a decent start, and then not as good a second moto after getting the best start. He was the leader early, and he's back in 6th.
See him wiping his goggles. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. Maybe some vision issues. If you're wiping your goggles, that means you unfortunately yanked all those tear-offs off. And now with laminates, it is so easy because you basically have 2 laminates on average, which have about 8 to 9 per laminate. So when I say 2 laminates, it's about 18 tear-offs. But if you grab that whole stack and it's gone, you could lose literally every tear-off on the opening lap. I call it the panic grab. I've done it many a time when you can't see in the midst of stuff and you do a panic grab and lose all your tear-offs. Now you're using your forearm as your windshield wiper. So it looked like Kennard maybe struggling with a little bit of vision issues. And Dungey, after having a good start, didn't have vision issues, went down, see the front of his number plate covered in mud, and he's been trying to chase down everyone, and everyone's been trying to chase down this guy.
Yes, but to no avail. Tomac brought it from 11 seconds to 9 seconds. But we repeat again as the white flag comes out that Roczen has been very good at just maintaining a gap once he got it this year. And hey, after round 1, that was the big question. Okay, it's first round, everybody's sorting things out. They're getting back into motocross mode after a winter of supercross. And round 2, maybe they'll reset it. He was still at the edge at round 2. All right, well, that was California races. We're going to move a little bit further east. Now we're in Colorado. No different here. Big change with an off weekend and going all the way to Pennsylvania for round 4. For these guys to try to find an answer for the young German who wants his title back.
Well, it's like where you're going to find a weakness in Roczen's riding. He's from Europe. He rides the mud well. So we have a mud race. Can't say he's not a favorite. We're going to Southwick again this year. Very excited about that. Roczen is very good in the sand, being a European, a lot of sand riding. So you start questioning, all right, so now how do we beat him? What do we do?
Yeah, and not really known as a huge crasher. Not a guy who takes himself out of championships very often.
Don't say that here at the end zone
the end
on the
zone.
last lap.
He was very cautious through there the entire moto, I feel. He knows better. Getting through this section, there were some yellow flags out.
He watches TV.
Yeah, I'm
He's
sure.
seen what's happened years gone by.
Well, he inherited the lead in that spot when Tomac crashed out last year. So Roczen keeps it going. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier in this moto, he won the title in 2014 at KTM and then left the team. They gave him an offer. They could have made good money over there, but he wanted to go to Suzuki, which is the brand that he grew up riding on. And then when it did not work out well last year, certainly a lot of naysayers. And although he's not come completely out and said it straight away, I've got to think that he feels good to have. Now he's finally saying, listen, I made this decision. I put it on my shoulders. I'm not going to regret it. But now you're starting to see the way he wanted this to go all along this year.
There was some adjustment, some growing pains, if you want to call it that, as well as a pretty new team putting together a lot of superstars. But it takes time to make everything work, and it's finally paying off.
He is the total package right now. Ken Roczen and the Soaring Eagle Jimmy John's RCH Suzuki team winning. Oh, a little knack-knack here in Colorado. Style as well. Cole Seeley he had Ryan Dungey pushing him the whole way, and guess what? Dungey couldn't make up much ground. I think Dungey spent a lot of energy, of course, early in this moto to try to make up ground.
Tomac already crossed the line second.
Yeah. Seeley's pulled away from Dungey.
Yeah. Something, either Dungey made a little bobble. Yeah, he made a bobble because the last lap they were really close. Dungey probably threw everything at it. Didn't happen.
Cole Seeley, great riding today. He looks over, knows he held off Dungey for third in this moto. Tomac second. As Georgia tries to chase down our winner today. She's the first person to be able to catch this guy here in Colorado.
Good point.
Georgia, take it away.
Yes, obviously after a moto, Ken Roczen, you would think would be tired. However, the speed that he's shown today, I don't think he can be that tired. Ken Roczen, I've been trying to figure it out. I've been speaking to your mechanic and everybody else. What is it about Ken Roczen's program that makes you so elite and so far ahead of the other athletes?
Well, last Friday it was mac and cheese and steak. Yesterday it was a mini donut since it was National Donut Day. So, fun to the side. It's great, you know. The track got really hard out here, and it's ruddy and bumpy. So it definitely is tough. But I didn't grab that good of a start, so I ate a lot of roost. But we came away with a 1-1 win, and I'm stoked.
Huge congratulations, Ken Roczen, with the overall win at Lakewood.
Well, you can get away with those things when you're riding that well. Roczen, his diet, not so that important.
Winning solves everything, they say, right? All right, so Ken Roczen gets it done. Didn't even need the good start in this moto. Was able to pass his way through the field. Take another dominant win today. Crowd cheering big time. Great racing here at Colorado's Thunder Valley Motocross Park, round 3 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship. And here is your Lucas Oil race recap. Ryan Dungey, an uncharacteristic early mistake. This is lap 1. He goes down, finds himself outside the top 20, and having to go into rebuild mode. Up front, Trey Kennard and Cole Seeley, Honda teammates, bumping and banging each other. But watch out for the number 94 on the yellow Suzuki. Ken Roczen's going to make work of both of them to try to take the lead.
What surprised me the most was Seeley taking the lead early on. Now look at Kennard, wipes our camera out, but he would take the lead, hold on to it until the number 94. Look at Roczen, round the outside, more speed, side by side, carries it up the hill, puts him on the inside for this turn, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, that was it. He would maintain the gap over Seeley for a while. Eventually, Eli Tomac would come through to take over second. And then Dungey back in the picture after this big comeback. He would fight his way past Kennard, Josh Grant, Justin Barsha, a bunch of fast riders. He would end up the moto in 4th behind Roczen, Tomac, and Seeley, and that was enough to still finish 2nd overall for the day. But 1st overall, 2nd time in 3 races this year, it's Ken Roczen. Here are your results. Marvin Muscan from way back. That's his best moto we've really seen him put in so far in the 450 class outdoors. That's Dungey's teammate in 5th. Kennard probably not happy with the 6th after the good start. Grant, Barsha, Tickle, and Matt Bisceglia, a pair of 10s in his debut with the Yoshimura Suzuki team on the big 450. Andrew Short in his final go-around here at his home race ends up 18th after the good start, and I'm sure the fans are cheering him all the way around. Let's send it back to Georgia.
Yes, I have 3rd place in the moto. We have Cole Seeley. Cole, it's great to have you up here. That was a great race for you. It seemed like you were really pushing the bike, yourself, everything coming together. How are you doing?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I got to hand it to my team, Honda, and the guys over at KYB, Johnny. You know, we've been figuring out the bike more and more as we go, and they're helping me a lot, and we've got it really good for these second motos. So just stoked to see that my fitness is getting a little better. And yeah, I got to hand it to my team. Like I said, Honda, HRC, Trailer Designs, Spy, Alpine Stars, Adidas, Stance, Blast Energy, Cannondale, Metro Honda, just everybody who helped me get here.
Well, congratulations, 4th overall, Cole Seeley.
Becoming an outdoor guy, Cole Seeley. Here's your overall result. That's also the amount of points they scored in the championship today. So the big difference is that Roczen gained 10 whole points on Dungey in the series. Help open what was a 2-point gap up to 12 at the end of the day. Eli Tomac salvages a podium at his home track, but you know he wanted to go after Roczen and try to win today's race. Let's go back to Georgia.
Yes, Eli Tomac. I'm sure for you the first moto didn't go quite as you planned, but it seemed you come out there for revenge, for redemption. We talked about before the motos this being a place that doesn't have the best memories. However, you showed incredible speed and you had a fire ready to put out.
Yeah, that was a fun moto, you know, other than starting mid-pack there on the start and eating a lot of roosts, but was able to throw down the laps and the lines I wanted to most of the time, and just got to be there at the start. These guys are getting ahead of me way too quick, and I need to be that guy. So keep fighting and trying to stay there, and try to stay there every weekend, and just keep going.
Now we got 2 weeks off. What is it you're going to do to try and work on those starts and get up front earlier in the moto?
At this point, just keep practicing and trying to fix the flaws. Right now I have something going on that I need to fix. So see what we can do to come back stronger. Thanks to the Monster Energy Kawasaki team, and see you guys in a couple weeks.
I feel like there's more of Eli Tomac to come. Thanks, Eli. Congratulations.
Well, the overall podium has been the same in the first 3 races. Roczen, Dungey, and Tomac have taken those spots each time, so that's reflected in the series standings. But if Tomac's going to get it together, he's going to need to do it quickly because he's already 1 moto down on Roczen in the series point standings. He can only win 25 points in each moto. Go back to Georgia.
Yes, Ryan Dungey, 3rd overall today at Lakewood, Colorado. Now, it's very rare to see Ryan Dungey crash and hit the floor. However, take us through what happened.
Yeah, I just got my front end up over the rut, and my rear was still in it. And I kind of went to scrub that little hip jump, and kind of just pitched my bike forward, and thought I had it saved. I was close. I didn't know if we were going to pull it off or not, but the front just tucked and over I went. But 19th to 4th, we did the best we could, and it's not ideal, those situations. You don't want to go down. We're just kind of going for it, and we didn't want to leave nothing out there. So we did our best, and that's all I could ask for myself, the team, and everybody.
Well, despite the crash, you obviously got points, and that's the most important thing. We got 2 weeks off. What is it you're going to work on to try and close that gap to first place?
Yeah, just regroup, and use this weekend off to our advantage and keep working on things. And, it's probably looks a little worse than it is, but we're right there, and we just need to keep working on it, and it's racing. What would it be if it weren't, you didn't get challenged and stuff. So, yeah, we're in a good spot, and we'll just keep building.
Well, congratulations, Ryan Dungey, 3rd overall today in Lakewood, Colorado. He is 12 points behind the red plate holder of Ken Roczen.
And do you think he's that concerned based on that interview? I don't believe so. He looks cool, calm, and collected. He knows he'll figure it out. He's only 12 points down. That's a confident rider.
I think the old Ryan Dungey, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe would have been panic at this point.
A little bit, yeah.
He's come a long way in that department.
He had a little smile and smoke, so he's cool with it.
We'll have highlights of this race from Thunder Valley. If you missed anything, check us out on June the 9th. You can see everything that you did not see. We have a weekend off. We'll be back June 18th from High Point in Pennsylvania. That's a very challenging track. It's been on the circuit for a long time, so always fun to go there. MAV TV and NBCSN will have the motos live. We'll also have some NBC coverage of the 450 class there. So Ken Roczen, they still have not solved the problem. When you come to Colorado, it's an action sports place, so they're going to give him some skateboards.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
Cool trophies. Love it.
So Joey Savacci regaining the points lead in a very competitive 250 class. We had all this talk about the Yamaha guys. He slayed that dragon today. As for Ken Roczen, well, he just keeps on trucking, doing what he does. So we'll see if the off weekend can bail these guys out and they can come back with a better charge in Pennsylvania. We got a big thing coming up. It's the Stanley Cup Finals here on NBCSN, so stay tuned for NHL Live. Congratulations to Ken Roczen and Joey Savacci.